Hey everyone, Melissa here, and today's topic is going to be about when things get tough, can you stay in the room? Um, the evidence of this happened to me just today, and what it was is I have been working this position for a company, and today started the fourth week, and it is a challenging position in that I don't know everything. Like, it's a process of figuring things out, knowing when this situation happens, you do this, and when this happens, you do that. It is a customer service, sending out technicians, but there's just so many different variables. And so today it was really hitting me hard in the fact that I felt like I'm just not getting this. I'm never going to get this. I can't learn all of this. It's only been 3 weeks, but I feel like I should already be, doing this with my eyes shut and just knowing every little thing about it. And I just keep finding more and more stuff that I don't know. I was almost to the point of where I could feel like I wanted to cry because I was feeling so much of that being not having the confidence that I always have, not being motivated enough to say, yes, I can do this, like just feeling deflated, feeling as though this challenge is too big for me and I'm not going to be able to continue with it. I need to just stop now while the getting's good, while getting out is a possibility. I don't want to stay any longer. Like, those were the things that were going through my head at the time because it felt that way. I just felt so defeated was the word, because I've never experienced this, or so I thought, of not really knowing enough to be able to be on my A game. But the thing is I had to pause in that moment and realize that, first of all, I am doing really well, considering I've only been at the job for 3 weeks and I haven't even worked 3 full weeks at that. I'm doing really well because I already went out on my own last week, earlier than probably most, or maybe around that right time. So I am doing things on my own. I'm just still asking questions. And then I really got deep and thought to myself, where is it that I have done this in the past? This is where staying in the room becomes really important, because I could have quickly made a decision based on how I was feeling in that moment. But I've done a lot of work on myself, and that's why I love sharing it with you. It's the evidence that comes up for me, because the more I share with you, the more experiences I'm having of my own. But I allowed myself to just get still for that moment and just kind of laugh about it and think, where else have I not allowed myself to stay in the room? When have I given up too soon, too early? I was quickly reminded of back in 7th grade. I wanted to try out for volleyball. And the first drill that they had you do, or one of the drills, the first practice, was you put the volleyball between your knees and you had to run down the court. And I thought that was the most craziest thing I ever heard. And obviously I wasn't able to do it because I just couldn't do it. I hadn't done it enough to even know how to do it. And so I didn't even make it to volleyball tryouts, like a couple of practices in, and I'm like, nope, can't do this. That's too hard. And had I, realized that come years later in my life, I'm going to be a volleyball coach for freshman students. Wow. What's the irony in that? That even though I gave up in that moment of being a player myself, that I took on a coaching job and responsibility of teaching freshman girls how to play the game of volleyball, even though I had not played it myself. But I dove into it. I dove into the curriculum, or not the curriculum, I guess the plays. I went to games. I mentored with the varsity coach. I just really knew that my heart of hearts wanted to be able to lead these girls into not only playing the game of volleyball, but knowing how do you get through that moment when you want to give up, when you want to leave the room, when you don't want to continue, you don't want to finish. Like, all of that, fast forward all those many, many years later, a few decades it is, that I would have the opportunity to do that. And so that was just one example that came up for me. And, I know there was probably more, and I could give you more examples, but for the sake of time, I just want you to realize that, even though you do choose to give up on something, or if we do choose to go a different route or whatever, make that choice your choice to do that. Because when we start factoring in what everybody else is telling us to do, and I know we've talked about this, we tend to not have a clear understanding on what we want to do. And what I recognized when I got still and said, okay, I know all the reasons why I could run out of this room right now and be done with this job and how I'm feeling, but I know better. So I'm not going to be on this side of the fence. What was it on the other side of the fence that brought me into this position to begin with? And the thing that brought me into this position was they really are looking for a strong person that can learn all of this in customer service and be able to develop a curriculum. I keep calling it curriculum, be able to develop a training program so that they can continue to grow that customer service department and eliminate a lot of the turnover that they have in that area. So my job was, what lit me up was the fact that I get to write this program that's going to allow incoming customer relations, customer service staff to learn their job better, maybe more quickly, or see if they're cut out for the position to begin with. So of course I'm going to have these struggles, because that's what I'm going to experience as I'm helping others learn and develop this program to offer new employees when they come in. So when I started thinking about that again, that lit me up, and it connected the dot of saying, well, that's because you need to understand this. There's going to be people that are going to come into this position feeling that very same way, and how am I going to help navigate them out of that feeling, or help them navigate their own self out of that feeling and move on to something else, or dive back in and remember, what they wanted from the position or from the job. I hope that makes sense. But that really was what happened. It was allowing myself to stay in the room, to stay present, to not hide out, not to go unconscious, not to throw all my chips in and say, I'm done. It was, okay, this is how I feel on this side. What does it feel like on the other side? What brought me to this point? And I think if you try this, maybe you have something you want to share with me in the comments or message me, but just give that some thought. I would love to hear your insights or your feedback on this and how it relates to you, because I really know that the universe will push you where it needs to push you, and it'll set back and watch you when it needs to watch you. It's all up to you to create the experiences that you want for your own life. And the thing is we need to do it with ease, love, joy, passion, and purpose. It doesn't have to be with fear, shame, guilt, sadness, none of that. Like, flip it over, start getting into that feeling of being alive, being present, knowing that, yes, if I stay in this room, I can really figure out the true solution to what it is I'm dealing with. I hope this has been in service to you. As always, I send you love and light and wishing you all the best. I'm here for you. Look forward to speaking to you again real soon. Have an amazing night. Much love.